right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started and move things forward. So first of all, thank you all for deciding to join us here today. Today we're going to be diving in on a very important topic for small businesses, medium-sized businesses, large businesses, basically every business on the planet who's trying to be found online, who's digital. AI, I don't have to even tell you what it is. Everyone by now should know what it is, but the effect that it's going to have on your brand is actually at a whole nother level. Today, we're going to talk about preparing your brand for the age of AI-driven search. This is in partnership with SEMrush, which is our main presenting partner. And I decided to do this series because, one, we did this inside of our online community, which Laura, Erica, Corey, and Nikisha are a part of. And today we're going to run this session and all the remaining 5 sessions kind of like we do when we do our 5 days of implementation inside of our community, where the training is not just me yapping and talking and all that. It's, there are members actually on the live training call, so you can interact with me in real time and not just watch some training, but be a part of it. So this is exciting. I'm going to ask everyone that is live to mute themselves. So without further ado, I'm going to just go ahead and get right into this. And again, we are streaming live on LinkedIn as well. Why me? My name is Jimmy Newson. I'm the founder and CEO of Moving Forward Small Business. And our mission is to support the small business community globally. We're on a mission to save 1 million small businesses from failure by 2050, leveraging innovation, technology, and business strategy. You can connect with me. My favorite platform is LinkedIn. I'm going to keep moving. A little bit more about Moving Forward Small Business. We're a community-based membership. We focus on digital transformation, strategy, and innovation. You can check out more by going to movingforwardsmallbusiness.com, but understand it's not just a training portal. It's a support system with other entrepreneurs who are also on a mission to grow. Again, this is in partnership with SEMrush. I'm going to shout out some of our incredible partners that are helping us push this whole series out to the world. We have the Innovate Summit and Alexander Sky Group. You'll be able to find out more about all of these partners on our resource page that you'll receive within the next 24 hours along with this recording. Shout out to Digital Marketing World Forum, Montclair State University, their Feliciano Entrepreneurship and Innovation Center, Small Biz Expo, and then our Small Biz and Growth Service partners, which is Noun Sourcing, Alexander, Aim to Scale, Forward Focus, A La Carte Catering, Talk Virtual, Caruso Enterprises, and Salamore. Now, these organizations are all organizations that support small businesses, but they also offer services. So I implore you to check them out as well throughout this process. So, real quick, let's talk about why are we here? Again, there's so much to be said about AI and search that we really needed to make this a 6-part series so we can really dive in deep on behalf of everyone here, so it's not just a scratch the surface thing where you're like, okay, I get how important it is, but I still don't know exactly what to do. This is where we've created this series. There'll be templates, there'll be resources, so you can actually start to take action. So today we're going to talk about preparing your brand for the age of AI-driven search. So this is going to be more of an overview of the entire 6 weeks. All right, so we're not going to go as deep today. The objective here is just to kind of paint the picture. Second, we're going to talk about analyzing your brand visibility with AI insights. Part 3, we're going to go over optimizing content for user intent in AI search. Fourth, we're going to look at identifying competitors with AI-powered analysis. 5, we're going to ensure high-quality, authoritative content for AI search. And then number 6, and our final one, is where we kind of wrap it all up in a bow with build a strong online presence for AI search readiness. Okay, so do understand that this is a long-term process. This is not something you're going to do in a weekend. This is not even something you're going to do in a couple of months. This SEO in general has always been a ongoing process. That's that long-term effect. If you want immediate effect, go run Google Ads. Go run ads on anything. SEO and what we're now terming GEO, generative engine optimization, is a long-term strategy that will pay dividends once it really starts to catch up. So what's today's agenda going to be about when we talk about AI search readiness? It's about understanding the shift, strategic adaptation, actionable optimization, future-proofing your brand, and essential resources. So one thing I want to say as we're going through this whole process is you will have access to this slide deck. So you don't necessarily have to worry too much about trying to take notes. You can watch the replay. You'll get this deck, and I'm going to actually demo 9 tools today, just again as an overview, and you'll have access to that entire thing on the resource page. So don't worry too much about trying to keep up. Just kind of just be in the moment. And so at this point, as I start to go deep into this, I'm going to periodically pause and get insight or feedback or aha moments from those that are actually live on the call, meaning that you can actually see their faces here. And primarily I'm talking to Erica, Laura, Nikisha, and Corey, but Jill, Bernardo, David, since you actually are on this side of the fence, and even Erms, I hope I pronounced that correctly, you can also chime in too if you want to. And again, this is how we normally run our trainings inside of Moving Forward Small Business. So let's go ahead and kick it in. So let's look at the digital landscape. It's changing. If any of you have ever done SEO or hired somebody for SEO, it's been keyword focused algorithms determining the visibility and the ranking. A lot of that was based on your website. You know, even backlinks from someone else's site linking back to your site shows the authority and the strength of your website itself. Okay, the technical aspects of it also played a huge part. So what we're going to look at now is the AI search revolution. Now, so AI comes in with ChatGPT, with Perplexity, with Gemini, with Claude, with DeepSeek. And people were originally using this really for everything but search, but now search has now become the key component. And now these AI tools are really starting to dominate the user experience. Okay. So, you know, and when it comes to AI search, you know, they can interpret context, intent, and relevance a lot more. And it's more conversational. So it's less keyword focused and more conversation focused. Now, there's still keywords in the conversation, of course, but it's really about conversations. And again, we'll get deeper into that. And then there's a huge opportunity. Now, I had a question that popped in my head the other day, and I'm like, you know, can you really suck at organic traditional SEO and be really good, meaning showing up well in the AI tools? And the answer is kind of yes, you know, but at the end of the day, strong SEO is still important. So where people are saying SEO is dead, SEO is not dead, because you still have to optimize your website, because there are certain AI platforms such as Google AI Mode and even Gemini that still rely on the algorithms that are produced by Google. So you still need to be optimizing from an SEO perspective. You just need to be expanding and layering on that with GEO strategies. Again, generative engine optimization. All right. So I'm going to pause for a second. Laura, Erica, Nikisha, Corey, you guys have been with me for a couple of years easily now. What is your take on how this is starting to affect your business? And maybe Laura, I'll start with you, because I know you've had some experience over the last few months really starting to dive into this whole AI search thing.
For us, the change with the algorithm to switching over to AI has really resulted in bumpy traffic. So sometimes we're down like 40%, and it's not just us. I see other data and it says the same thing. So it's really changed the focus of what Google and the other search engines are looking for and what they want you to create to rank.
Okay, perfect. Has anybody else seen, been looking at their numbers and seeing that if they're losing or if they're gaining, or even put their own name into any of these AI search engines, what comes up?
Yeah, I'll step up and just speak on that is basically a new field of space to operate within AI. You have to create your space. You know what I'm saying? You have to stand out. You have to create the narrative in the AI space so you can be picked up and, again, be integrated in this new system that we have, which is AI generation or geo, what is it?
GEO.
Optimization. Yes, we have to populate our businesses to be present in those spaces, and there are different ways to do it. It's different from what we've been known to be doing with Google. So I think it's a great space to start. AI is not going anywhere. People are using that more now to find people and to find reliable people. So I think it's a good thing to actually learn about it and participate in it so that you can be found in the future.
Great, fantastic. Anybody else? Or I'm going to come back to you guys in a little bit. Looks like Erica's got something to say.
Yeah, I wanted to let you know that I'm showing up now because of the stuff we worked on with AI. So before, wasn't too great with SEO, wasn't showing up at all. But now, type in either my name or either of my companies, it show up, and I thought that was great.
Okay, Nikisha.
So we definitely need to be strategic on how we position our business. But what I've been using it for is to research other businesses, research the history of what business owners have done in the past, and it's able to pull articles. Like I had a business owner, I was like, let me see if there's any history that I should know about before I partner with this business owner. And it was able to run some reports and, give me some data so I can make a better decision on if I even wanted to move forward with this specific business. So we definitely need to structure some things for our business, but I've been using it to research other businesses.
And that's an important thing to note. So notice what Nikisha said. She used it to really build a profile of this person, this organization that wants to partner with her. Imagine someone did that to you. Now, if you're not, now I always say you don't have to do SEO, but SEO is gonna deal with you. Meaning that if you don't control the narrative around your brand, then you're gonna leave it up to these engines to determine their own understanding of your brand. So this becomes extremely important. So how does AI work? It's dynamic personalization. Again, you can really look at, there's a whole new level. I'm finding myself definitely going more towards, I'm a Gemini guy. Out of all the AI tools, I'm Gemini. I actually use Perplexity a little bit. I don't use ChatGPT so everyone knows, but I know a lot of people do. I'm not a Claude guy, but so those two are my AI tools, and I'm finding myself balancing back and forth between the two because of how I'm starting to use them. Where I am starting to, for the first time, get a little frustrated with Google in regards to I just want the damn answer. I don't want to have to try to figure out which one of these articles has what I'm looking for. I just don't have the time. Okay. So it's sophisticated intent recognition, so it fully understands what I'm trying to figure out. And then, of course, comprehensive contextual understanding, interpreting broader real-term patterns, multimodal information, and conversational history. And I think the conversational history is really what's key, because even in Google, I'm now clicking a lot more on AI mode because I'll get the first part of my question, but I have a follow-up. Now, in the older format, I would have to go back to Google and figure out what's my question to trigger the follow-up. Now I could just hit Google AI mode and continue to have the conversation around that topic or that brand, or because I'll easily go in and go, I need to know how to use this specific tool. And then I'll go, and then it'll give me some ideas, and I'll go, but that's not how I want to use it. I'll go to Google AI mode. I go, but I want to use it specifically this way. How? And that's where your content needs to fill in the blanks to be able to answer those questions. And again, part two of today's session are the tools. So why should this matter to you? Increased visibility. AI optimization helps you appear in more relevant searches, connecting you with potential customers actively looking for your offerings. So let's address the elephant in the room. AI is costing people visits and clicks. So clicks are down, visits are down. but that for the majority of that, that's top of funnel. If you're familiar with the buyer's journey, top of funnel, middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel, I think the number was at the time somewhere between 60 to 70% of the clicks are top of funnel, and it might even be more. Middle of the funnel or bottom of the funnel is where you get to middle of the funnel being more of consideration, and bottom of the funnel is they're making a decision. This is where you need to be optimizing content for all three stages of the funnel. So that middle of the bottom and bottom of the funnel is where you're going to start to get those clicks and those purchases. So again, this is what we call right time targeting. It's inbound 101. So a lot of the traditional SEO strategies are still very relevant today. And then of course, trust building, consistent, accurate information across platforms, enhancing credibility and fostering customer loyalty. So here's your action plan. Your action plan is to start to refine your content. You're going to have to start to look at all the content that you've done up to this date and start to make adjustments to it. Your digital presence enhancements. You're going to have to strengthen your visibility across platforms where AI sources information. Now, here's the part that kind of sucks for us all. Remember when I said the traditional SEO was about more about the website? AI-based search, GEO, is about the entire internet. They're looking at any and every place that mentions your business, where you mention your business, where your customers mention your business, where authoritative sites like news outlets, press releases, niche article, niche places. All of this now just became play. And I'll tell you right now, I was never a big brand person. I'm all about, bottom of the funnel stuff, this and that, unbranded terms. Well, now AI made branded terms very, very relevant, because branded terms are bottom of the funnel terms. If they're using your name in the question, the conversation, you're now relevant to that. There's an opportunity for it to engage you more. And again, depending on the intent of the engagement, could lead to a sale. Okay. And then, like I said, ongoing optimization. This is not a one-time thing. Okay. So a couple of quick things here. I believe it was the New York Times. They said, by 2026, Google will be losing 20 to 40% of all of its traffic. And it's possible that could be even more, because this whole thing is changing faster and faster by the second. Okay. So, and 1,300%, that's the number that AI searches up. And I think this was probably a month ago, so it's probably even more. I think I read either yesterday that maybe it was ChatGPT is up to 700 million users as of now. So again, that the adoption is fast. AI is in everything and it's everywhere. So we have to start paying attention. So now we get to the fun part. We're going to start looking at actual tools. Okay. So here's our optimization checklist overview. And this is where I'll get more insight from our panel team here of small businesses that support businesses, but are also going through this journey. One, you need to assess your visibility. How are you showing up? When's the last time you popped your name into ChatGPT, SearchGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, and seeing what it spit out about you and your brand? Now, I said you and your brand because there are two entities here. There is the brand, and then there's you and key stakeholders. So all of these now are important. Two, once you assess your visibility, now it's time to optimize the content. And the optimization of content can be on your site, but it also can be off your site, such as your social media channels, such as we're not putting our press releases on our website. We're actually putting our press releases on third party platform, and then feeding it from there. Because that's a strategy for us to have more content off our site that mentions our brand, that mentions the founder, that mentions key stakeholders that are important and tied to this brand. Analyze your performance and monitor the mentions. So how do we do that? So I'm going to introduce you to a first tool in a minute. So right now we start with assess search visibility. So test your AI search tool. So I use more than one tool here to evaluate this. I don't, think about going to the doctor. You got something wrong with you, unfortunately. You get an opinion, then you get a second opinion, and then you get a third opinion. That's how I operate when it comes to this stuff. I use more than one tool. I'll use a free tool, and free tools are only as good as them being free. And then I'm going to introduce you to a paid tool that I think is worth every penny when it comes to this type of work. So you can use HubSpot's AI Search Grader, ChatGPT, Search Gemini, Perplexity, or of course my favorite, which is the SEMrush AI Toolkit. And understand, yes, I'm partnered with them, but this is an amazing tool. Document your findings and then prioritize improvements, because there will be more things that you have to do than you have time to do it. So you need to put that in a list of urgent, short term, medium term, long term, not right now type of scenario. Okay. So this here is the HubSpot Search Grader. All right. And you can see it's only asking for 4 things. Now this is free. You can use this all day. And again, these tools will be on the replay page. You put in your company name, your location, your product, service, and your industry. So I'm going to use one of our actual clients. So I dropped in A&M Equipment Sales, which is they sell vending machines to vendors around the United States and South America. So you can see how they're performing on OpenAI, Perplexity, and Gemini. Here's a side note. Bigger brands are already positioned to do a lot better than smaller businesses because they've already been doing some of the things I'm going to recommend you do. But now you're going to focus it because of AI search. So you're able to see, brand recognition, market score, things like that. So if I come over here real quick and click on that, you'll see it gives you some insights on brand recognition, market score, presence quality, brand sentiment, share of voice, but only for these 3 platforms. There are more platforms. What this tells you is a couple of things. It tells you, number one, that you can see how well you're doing on each platform. But what that also means is that each platform has its own way of validating you. So what might be interesting on one platform may not be the same for the other. And you're going to see that more when I go into the SEMrush tool. Laura, you have a question or a comment?
First, to step back just a minute, when you were talking about GEO searching for everywhere and how it's important for brands, it's also important for the people that are on that don't own their companies, that they are working on their personal brand, which you're excellent at, your personal brand as well as moving forward small business. But it's important for everybody to work on that as well. And then the second thing is on the information that we're looking at right now, you can really change your scores depending on what you put in terms of your industry and whatever the other category is when you first type in the data. Don't play with that too much. Just pick what you're going for and be done with it, because otherwise you can spend a lot of time looking at some stuff that might not be relevant.
Exactly. So and with that being said, great points, Laura. All this should be aligned with your overall business strategy, your overall marketing strategy, your annual strategy, which will help you determine which one of these things are the most important. But again, what you're starting to see here is you can start to understand, where you are in the market as far as your market position, your confidence level. Most small brands will do very well when it comes to sentiment of your brand. It's really market share of your brand that you usually hurt the most because you don't have enough content out there. You haven't paid that much attention to your social media channels. You probably have inconsistencies with your brand message across all of your platforms. When's the last time you looked at your LinkedIn, your social media channels like LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and made sure the message was consistent across all of them? I know when I first started thinking like that, mine was a mess, and I had to clean it up. Okay. So I'm not going to go too deep into these tools because, again, that's what the additional 5 days are about. My job here today is to introduce you to these tools. So now that you can use that tool to do an audit, let's say there's a stronger tool that you should be using that will give you a much deeper audit and a lot more. So what you look for is, making sure all the content is current and accurate, using natural language, match the conversation patterns of the AI, of what AI is producing as far as the queries from the end user, optimizing your metadata, review headers, descriptions, keywords. And this is where you're going to start to optimize your content to start. So you're focusing on your website off the back to start to get that thing more AI search ready. So how do you do that? Well, now we introduce you to the SEMrush AI tool. And I'm going to give you a QR code at the end of this session if you want to try it out. I think we have a 7-day free trial on it. And another tool I'm going to introduce you to is, after we look at this screenshot here, we're gonna take a quick look into SEMrush in a few minutes. And then I'm also going to introduce you to another one of my favorite tools that I use specifically for writing content, specifically blogs, long form content that is optimized to be found in not only just traditional search, but AI-based search, GEO. Okay, so these are the two tools we're going to quickly take a look at. So let's start with SEMrush. Now I call SEMrush my Swiss Army knife, of digital marketing. And when you're in this, you have your brand. So what I'll be going through is I have 3 brands here. A la carte catering in Houston is Laura's company. That's a service-based business. A&M Equipment Sales, which is the one that I've been talking about, is more of a product-based business. Moving Forward Small Business is it's a membership site, membership community. And then we also have Warby Parker, which is a very big brand. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to see how this might look. So you have to be one of these brands, So this will help you understand how would I show up. What are the key things I'm going to be looking for? So I'm just going to point out real quick just a few things. One, here are the search engines right now in the tool. So we got Google AI Mode, we got Search GPT, Chat GPT, Perplexity, Gemini, we got Claude and DeepSeek. Now what you're seeing here is it's giving you some immediate priorities that you can start to focus on. And then what it's also doing is over here, you can click on any one of these and see it's pulled some of your top competitors. Now, if they didn't pull the right competitors, you can actually come up here and add the right competitors. So you can see how this brand is doing on Search GPT, your brand, and then your competitors. So we got A&M Equipment Sales, vending. If you scroll over, it'll give you the percentage. This is the percentage of voice you have on this platform based on your industry. So we can see vending is beating us here. AMS vending is beating us here. But if I come over here to Google AI Mode, we're beating everyone else. But if I come over to Chat GPT, vending is beating us. If I come here to Perplexity, I'm neck and neck with vending. And then if I come over here with Gemini, I'm not even showing up in Gemini. So this is why it's important to be able to look at multiple platforms. Now, here's the cool thing. Every time I switched this here, so if I now switch over to Gemini, watch what happens to this section here. Click on Gemini. It changed. And why did it change? It changed because Gemini is saying this is what we think is important in order for us to show you more, versus Search GPT, which is going to change again. So now you might adapt a strategy that says, I'm just going to focus on my visibility on Search GPT. I'm just going to focus on my visibility just on this platform. So you can either take the approach that I'm not showing up at all on Gemini. Let me focus on showing up more in Gemini. Or you might go, it looks like my strongest opportunity is with Google AI Mode. Let me double down just on that and gain more market share. So what I'm trying to say is don't try to do all of it. Pick a direction, pick a key focus and focus on that. And maybe that's based on your overall goal for the organization for the year. This aligns with what we're already doing, so this will be part of that strategy. And if we scroll down a little bit more, we can see it's monitoring over time. But here's the coolest thing. I'm on the visibility tab right now, And now you can actually see the actual questions being asked on the engine. So again, we're in the Google AI mode. So here are the questions, and we're in number 1. AMS vending is number 2. If I click here, you're going to see kind of an overview snapshot of what it's doing. Now you can actually drop this into Google AI, the Google AI tool, and see if you are in fact number 1. And so let me explain one last thing, and then we're going to keep going. It says branded. That means that your brand name is being used. If it says non-branded, that means your brand was not used. It's just a question. Who supplies snacks and drinks and combo machines? Now you can click on here and see the overview of the snapshot. You can see we're positioned in number 5, but we got AMS number 2, and we got Ventec is number 4. So if we're not showing up at all, this is an opportunity for us to figure out, well, how do we show up? Especially on a question like, where can I buy vending machines with smart inventory systems? We're not anywhere in there. So this is another way that we can look at creating content that's relevant, okay? So the other tool I told you I'd show you, this is ScaleNut. So I'm gonna make this really quick. ScaleNut, you could pick a keyword, like we chose calculated risk, and I'll go deeper on the 5 days, but this allows you, it crafts a very, very methodically thought out type of long form blog article. But over here are things that helps it measure it so you can make sure the score is high enough, and this is where you'll start to see your search climb for that. So like it's saying, the schema markup is missing. Fix. So I can click here and it will help me fix it using AI. So I don't have to figure out what do you mean. All right, this is where these tools really start to help you. And now this is your blog strategy. Okay, if anyone has any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. If not, I'm going to keep going. So it says add new schema, replace. So I'm going to say yes. It fixed the schema. I'm not going to show you where that's at, but you can see the score jump from 81 to 83. All right, so you can start to fix a lot of things here. And this is how you make sure that the content, this is one way. There's more than one way. But this is how I use this tool specifically. So you're looking at my actual tech stack for moving forward small business, for recommendations for our members, and how I help my clients at the same time. Okay, let's head back in. Number 3, we want to monitor our brand mention. Laura brought up monitoring yourself as well and building out your brand as well as the company brand. So if you're not using Google Alerts, you should actually be setting up Google Alerts so you can get notified when your brand is mentioned, when you are mentioned. Because again, this is stuff off your site. This is stuff that you can use to amplify your voice, especially depending on how it was used. So you set up the alerts, you track the social media mentions. So if you have a social media tool, you could track your mentions there, and you can address inaccuracy. So you might find a situation where your clients are coming up, content is coming up that's way old that shouldn't be showing up in AI search. You have to track that content down and get it removed because it's being used to help build out your profile because of Gemini or Perplexity or whoever's using these tools. So this is a snapshot of all the things I'm measuring. I'm measuring my name. This is a product we have. This is entrepreneur ecosystem. This is a keyword that I want every time it's mentioned, I want to know who's involved in it. So I can determine, is this a good partner for us? Because we determined that was a strong keyword. This is a competitor, fit small business. I monitor competitors here. This is our podcast, Impact Us All podcast. This is my name. This is the company name. And you notice some have quotation marks and some don't. And the reason why I have quotation marks is because I need this term moving forward, small business, to be in that exact term. Because the problem with the company name is it's too broad. So when I get alerts about moving forward, small business that's not in quotations, it's everything but my company. So I monitor both in quotations and without. So that's a little tip for you. This is an example of when I get a notification that moving forward small business in quotations was mentioned. I can see where it was mentioned. I can go there. I might comment there. I might add it to my website under news or press or something like that to build more of my credibility. This is an email that I just kind of grouped all Google alerts together. So I'm getting these daily. So I'm monitoring this regularly. Very important. And then here is, I did a couple events a couple months ago with a couple of people from the Innovate Summit conference. When they published it, I was notified before they could even tell me that it was live. All right, so I already knew it was live when they were like, "Oh, by the way, your interview's live." Yeah, I know. And I've already taken action on it. Okay, so these are important things. So number 4 is strengthen your PR strategy. Now, one of the hardest things in SEO in general is backlinks, getting backlinks, and backlinks are still important as of right now to the authority of your website. So when it comes to trying to get backlinks from big authorities and big news outlets, that can be pretty difficult. Well, it still has to be done. So, you want to partner with sources, build relationships with credible publications, industry players. This will help you generate backlinks to your brand, to your website, to specific pages. And you could, it could be through published blogs and press releases. So we're doing press releases a lot more now. I think we did 2 press releases in this last week, in the last 7 days alone, for very specific things. And we're doing press releases for our clients now a lot more. All right. Here's a tool I'd like to introduce you to called Quoted. And Quoted, based on how you set your profile up, will allow you to get these inquiries from real press people, whether they're news outlets, whether they're TV shows, whether they're niche blogs that are looking for experts like you. And just to be very clear that anybody, if I come over here and I go to, this is my actual account, I typed in plumbing, and look what we got here. We got Nick, who's a reporter, and here are the publications he writes for: Scientific American, U.S. News and World Report, The Wall Street Journal, BBC. Here is what he covers. Now remember, I typed in plumbing, city, home improvement, fitness, plumbing, woodworking, carpentry, plumber. So I don't care what industry you're in. When you build your profile, when you set up certain keywords, you're going to start to get queries based on that. So again, this is another way for you to build your authority as an authority figure, get mentioned in high level publications, and get that credit. Okay, so extremely important. If I come over here to opportunities real quick, and again, we're going to dive deeper into each one of these tools. I come over here to opportunities. Here's what the opportunities page looks like. Now, there's a free plan. So every month on the free plan, you'll get 2 free opportunities to pitch. And there's actually some that are free and won't use up your free pitch. But this is a commitment. So I can get into Florida today. Now, this is my actual plan for moving forward small business. So you can see AP, I can get into Associated Press. I can get into financial planning, LiveTech. Looking for chefs and cooking experts to comment on this chopping. I'm not sure why I'm getting that one, but okay, I do like to cook. But embedded AI functionality and advisor tech stack. So this might be a question I can answer, So, and it updates regularly. So you'll see there's National Geographic, there's Wired, so there's Martha Stewart. So these are very recognizable media outlets that you can start to get presence in, okay? Let me come back out of here. Let's keep going. Engage in online discussions. Now, this one's a huge one. You got to start interacting with forums. I'm sorry to give you that bad news, but you're going to have to start interacting with forums like Reddit, like Quora. I think it's Perplexity that favorites Reddit. One of them favors Reddit over when it comes to these forums. So again, if you're going after a specific platform as part of your overall strategy to start to get more visibility and gain more market share, then this would now become part of your situation here. Here's a tool that we use called Ideate. I could put it in a competitor. I can put it in an industry. I could put it in a specific product or service and get sentiment based on a persona about the drivers of that person, the problems that they face, and the opportunities if you could solve that problem. Okay, so I put in Warby Parker because we're going to dive deeper into that so this will make more sense then. But I could see about fashion forward glasses enthusiasts. So if I know the type of people I'm going after are the fashion forward glasses enthusiasts, well, I can learn about them. I can learn if I'm looking at international customers, I can look at them. If I'm looking at people who are skeptical, I can look at them around glasses and see what those issues are and start to address them in my content, start to address them in my conversations, let's say on podcasts or in a news interview. You see how you use this knowledge to start to position yourself based on what you already know about the people. Now you might go, well, is AI making this up? Absolutely not. This stuff is being pulled directly from Reddit. So it's a sentiment-based AI tool. So it's getting sentiment around Warby Parker in relationship to these very specific personas. Okay, very important. And then if we come over here back to the ScaleNut tool, and you're able, and depending on your plan, you actually can connect this directly to Reddit and get the questions and answer them. And this is how you start to show up on those platforms and not waste your time answering things that are not going to be relevant to you getting more search visibility on these platforms. So there are tools out there that are built already for you to start understanding how to get more visibility and increase your AI search. So now, optimize for AI citations. So this is almost traditional SEO. You need citations. Citations are, your business mention in directories on platforms like Google, Grow with Google, or it used to be Grow with Google, but Google Business Profile, Bing, City Search. All these places you still have to be listed, have your business listed, because that still plays a huge part in understanding who you are and your authority and the fact that your business is up to date. Okay. Number 7, leverage structured data. We call this schema. Okay. Now this one's a little on the geeky side. When you mark up your website, you can mark it up as a local business, as products and services. You can mark up specific pages as event pages, as a frequently asked question page, as a review page. When you mark up the page, what you can do is the AI will identify the schema type, and then it will help it determine if it wants to show this page in the AI search, just as well as the traditional search. And so there's 2 tools you can use to determine if you're using a schema markup. The first one is schema.org. You go to schema.org, you click on validate, and you drop in the URL, and you see if you have schema on your site. And if you do not, then you can use this tool to create the schema specifically for that page. So let me show you what that looks like real quick. So let's come over here. This is that tool. So I pulled up that same client. So this is a sale page they have going on. And this second one is a product page. Okay. So let's come over here to sales. I'm going to grab this URL, Command C. I want to see if there's schema on this page. If there's schema, it would show up here. If there's no schema, it will be blank. Run test. Takes a second. And there you can see web page. So if you click on this, this is the markup that was created by, that we created, whether it was through a plugin already on the platform, or we created it using the tool that I mentioned, the schema markup tool, which is this tool. Now, I'm going to show you the difference between that and this one. Now, that was a web page because it's just an actual page. This here is a product page for this machine. Okay, so I'm going to grab this URL, go back over to schema, run new test, drop that one in here, run test, and look at this schema. And this schema states that this page specifically is, I'm kind of buying time here, it's not really working so well, a product page. So it picked it up as a product page. So again, this is helping these search engines understand what type of page is this. And when you don't have this stuff, then it's going to look for the next best thing until there isn't one. So these things help you continue to grow. So there's a lot of little nuances when it comes to understanding how to show up in AI search. So number 8, analyze your performance, track traffic sources, measure engagement, adjust your strategy, and evaluate the conversation. All right. So your implementation timeline is to assess, use one of these tools, use AI, use SEMrush's AI toolkit. It'll give you a massive overview. If you're not ready to make the investment, start with the HubSpot tool and just get an idea. Then you need to start to conduct an audit. Then you can make sure that you've been submitting to directories. Then you want to make sure that there's schema set up on your site. And then you want to monitor. You want to make sure that your tools are monitoring this regularly and that you are improving on your search. So there is a balance between traditional SEO and language model optimization, LMO. Traditional SEO, keyword optimization, backlink building, technical site performance, content marketing. Language model optimization is conversational content, question answer format, comprehensive topic coverage, structured data implementation. Okay? So the recap here, because we're getting to the top of the hour, and then we're going to move into our VIP session, which is going to be on Zoom for all of those that upgraded to VIP, where we can just kind of talk, and I'll pull this stuff up, and we can go a little bit deeper for another hour. Okay? The AI search revolution. AI search prioritizes contextual understanding and personalized results, fundamentally changing how users discover information for business. It requires a strategic adaptation, proactive content optimization. If you're using these tools, they will help guide you. Okay, continuous optimization, meaning you're continuing to use it. There was a question posed on a AI webinar I was on recently, and the question was, do I have to go back and optimize all my existing content? And the answer was yes, because there's a good chance that it is not optimized for today's type of AI search. So there are things you're going to need to do to that. I will go through that on part 5. Part 5, I will show you exactly how to do that. Okay? And then a blended approach. So you're going to use a blended approach. So traditional SEO is not dead. It's morphing into something a lot more complex. Unfortunately, the stack goes traditional SEO, and then generative AI, generative overview is on top of that. So you're going to have to do a little bit of both. So that's the good and the bad. All right? So I did create one initial resource for you, which again, you'll get on the replay. You'll get on the replay page tomorrow. I created a checklist based on what I went over today. So don't worry about the URL. Again, you're going to get all of this tomorrow. But this is going to be your step-by-step AI search checklist. So to kind of help you just check things off. Now, I do all of our checklists inside of Notion. Okay. And the reason why I do it in Notion, because Notion is free. So if you have a Notion account, you can just import this right into your Notion, and this whole thing becomes editable. If you don't have Notion and you don't want to get Notion, just go to the page, copy the whole content, and paste it into a Word doc. Whatever makes you happy. Okay. So what's the next step? We kind of made it through this, and then I'm going to hear back from our guest here, and then we're going to move over to VIP. If you're interested in checking out the AI toolkit, you can scan this QR code here, or you can wait till you get the replay page and click there, and you'll get access to that tool to test it out. And again, this is what I want to show you. I'm going to come back over here to the SEMrush tool. I only showed you one, so let me just quickly go over to questions. Now, remember it talked about giving you ideas on question. If I scroll down, this is the query intent. This is specific to the A&M equipment site. So it's giving me the actual questions being asked that are branded and non-branded for this, and is classifying it as a purchase thing, a research thing, or a support thing in regards to product offering and inventory. Then it went into supplier comparison and reputation. Then parts, accessories, and upgrades, then purchase and financing. So there's a lot of data here. Now, here's another thing that SEMrush does. If we keep going down, it actually gives you how you solve the problem. So it goes into, we need to position A&M Equipment Sales as a technology-forward and innovative brand. These are significant. There is significant interest in smart vending, cashless solutions, touchscreens. And here's what we recommend. Create a technology showcase section on your website. Use content marketing to educate buyers. So it's saying, do this specifically. And then it's telling you how important it is. Medium, urgent. And if you go to each section, here's perception around how people feel about you. You get a very specific set of recommendations for that: short term, medium term, urgent. So this tool again goes deep. Now again, it changes once I hit a different search AI tool. And again, this is why it's important to just take it by chunks. How do you eat an elephant? Not that you should ever eat an elephant, but if you were to, one bite at a time. Okay? So you can get the AI toolkit. We're going to jump over now for everyone that was on that got the VIP link. It was emailed to you about just before we started. We're gonna go over to Zoom, and then this is going to be more of a conversation where I might pull up my screen if it makes sense here. If anybody wants to upgrade real quick, feel free to scan this code. It's a $47 one-time fee, and this covers the entire series. So you pay $47 one time, you're going to get the Q&A VIP session for every one of the remaining 5, okay? Including today if you do that. You're also going to have additional access to the recordings longer than if you're on the general plan. And we're going to have a few extra bonuses for you as well. So consider upgrading, either whether it's today or before the next session, which is next Wednesday. If you do want to talk to me more, you can book a call with me. You could talk to me about potential services if you're interested. If you want a walkthrough of our community, or you want me to speak, I'm open for it all. I'm down. All right. So with that being said, I'll open it up for just a couple questions and comments. I see I have something in the chat. So let me come over to the chat section. Oh, I say Corey dropped in a couple of links. One is if you want to upgrade to the VIP. Let me get some feedback from anybody that's actually live here. Who's going to go?
I know that the code that you gave for SEMrush is accessed for 7 days, but I would hold on to that QR code until we're further into this, like a couple more weeks before accessing that. I would start with the HubSpot free AI grader and learn that data before going and using that limited AI access that you get with SEMrush.
Yeah,
Awesome.
if you're not planning on upgrading, but if you are, the upgrade is $99. And at the end of the day, for our more established businesses, I think it's worth it, to make that investment because, again, if understanding AI search and making sure that you're ahead of this is important, I think you should grab this tool. I think it's a worthy investment to have it, but you still need to play around with it. So for everyone watching, make your decision on that. But I think this is a very important, or else I wouldn't even be doing this whole series. So, but I appreciate that. But yes, absolutely.
I agree with you about that, but with the 7-day access, the $99 is on top of a regular SEMrush membership,
No,
right?
It's
It's
independent.
standalone. Okay.
It's a standalone price. It's a standalone thing.
Well, then it's worth every penny. But
Absolutely. Anybody else comment? Okay. Well, we're actually at the top of the hour. It is 1:00. So we're going to now close out today. I appreciate everyone joining. I look forward to seeing you next week when we get into part 2 and we start to dive into these tools and we start to, I'll give you templates and we start to actually go, what do we need to actually do? And I want you to start actually doing some work. I'm excited about that. So I'll see you then. And for everyone else that is on the VIP, I'll see you on the VIP. Enjoy the rest of your day.